Three, two, one, testing. So what's going on, YouTube? I'm back with another YWB banger. And it's another story time, as you can see from the form of the video. And it's been a fat ass minute, probably like 2 years. I really don't know. I'd have to check that out, honestly, because I haven't really cared too much. But anyways, I'm going to make this story time pretty short and sweet for you guys. So, yeah, let's jump right into it. In today's story time, well, it's not really a story time technically. It's a story time platform, but it's a different type of video where I have the gameplay and I just do commentary. And we're talking about designer drugs versus real drugs. This is part 2 to a series I made about 2 years ago, and a lot of you guys kind of misinterpreted on what I was trying to, like, my point across the video. So I just kind of wanted to clear that up now. So I might as well. So yeah, let's get right into it. So first things first, I want to just say that this could be like an ongoing thing. I can probably do like once every week, like a bi-weekly type of schedule on like these commentary type videos and story times. But yeah, it's just because my PC's kind of fucked up, and I do want to do a story time series about my treatment, like where I ran away from treatment from Minneapolis, Minnesota, all the way to Fargo, North Dakota. But anyways, okay, let's do this quick though. So last video, like I said, a lot of people were misinterpreting my statement. My point wasn't that designer drugs aren't man-made. Yes, okay, like a good 75% of drugs are man-made in labs, like they're created from a person. Good thing, like a good example is like opiates and opioids. So like a lot of opioids obviously come from the poppy plant, but they're like oxy, for example, is semi-synthetic, meaning that it's they just took like the poppy or the opium from the poppy, and they just like fucked around with the alkalines to create a stronger like derivative, making oxyhydros, tramadol, I think, and just a lot of stuff. Like DXM is technically an opioid, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, though, like codeine, obviously, morphine, and a couple others that I haven't mentioned are actually natural, like weed, for an example, and JWH. That's exactly what I mentioned here. JWH, HU, and then other like out cannabinoids, they're all man-made, right? THC isn't. THC was derived from the hemp plant. And no, there's other examples, but I'm not going to get into it. So yeah, so what is really a research chemical? My first encounter with the research chemical would have been with bromazolam, when they were obviously in the scene way before I even did drugs or even smoked my first fucking joint. But they didn't really get popularized until like the early 2000s. They started coming up again, and I'm pretty sure even a little bit beforehand. But that's a perfect example of what I was trying to get to, is that alprazolam itself is like taken care of in laboratories, like pharmaceutical grade laboratories. A lot of people are getting pill presses on the deep web and whatnot, and I've had a lot of experience from 2 years, guys. So obviously take my word with a grain of salt, but anyways, okay, let me get a little bit closer and preach here. So bromazolam is a perfect example. Nowadays there's a lot of clobromazolam, phenoxylam, fucking, like there's a like a K-pin type of derivative, cyclo. It's fucking clonazepam, I think. That's like the one of the most potent research chemicals. But anyways, enough with that shit. So bromazolam and clobromazolam is one that I've done, and actually, which one is the other one? Not, it's fluoprazolam with an OP, not flualprazolam, which I wasn't laced, but I was lied to at first by the guy I picked them up off of a while back. He said that they were flualp, and I was expecting it to like kick in, but it was like this weak ass like Ativan type of feeling, but it wasn't like euphoric like Ativan. But anyways, like my point is that all these chemicals, they're affected, like all they really do is like they change up their benzene rings, and I think it's diazepine rings or whatever. So they really just change up the structure of what a benzo is really made up of. It's no different than like people really taking like the tetra or the hydrogen fucking molecule, and adding like the hydrogen, another hydrogen, to make HHC instead of THC. Or they add hydrogen instead of the tetra or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not no chemist, okay? I ain't Walter White, okay? I ain't fucking Jesse Pinkman. I don't know what I'm really talking about, but I do know like just the basic concept of chemistry. And come on, bro, just look at the goddamn periodic table for once in your life, dude. It's everything's based off of chemicals in real life, dude. Come on now, like alkaloids, it's no different than alkaline drugs and shit like that. So, anyways, enough with the nerdy shit. So that was my whole point of that whole video, was to just kind of explain what these designer drugs are. Like 5-MeO DMT is another one, fucking 2CB, not 2C, what is the Backstreet Boy killer type shit, the boy band killer. That's a fucked up joke, but anyways, so yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what not Albert Hoffman, that's the dude. I'm tweaking Alex Shulgren. What he created was MDMA, which that used to be considered a designer drug back in like the 80s and shit. So that's what 2CB is, like the actual 2CB, 2CI, 2C, like 2C2C type shit. You know, that's not an actual chemical, but anyways, yeah, that's literally what designer drugs are. They mimic an actual drug, and they're supposed to, what their purpose is to be legalized, okay? That's literally their whole purpose, is to get an illegal drug or an illegal chemical and turn it legal, because they just turn, like, they shape the fucking chemical and boom. Like, what was, oh yeah, so like nitrous, for example. So this is like one of the last examples that I'm gonna give is nitrous. It just kind of like, you know, faded back in. Like, I don't know what the fuck is up with these youngin' fucking Gen Z hipsters, and why do they want to get high all of a sudden? Um, is that like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it wasn't really used at all. I mean, like catering, like people use it in their cars, people would fucking use it for what it's supposed to be used, dentists, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden it's legal, which, I mean, it's always been legal, but it's always been in that gray area. And then now like the people put the spotlight on that shit. And that's kind of like what designer drugs are going to do nowadays. Is like, I mean, like people aren't going to be paying $2 a milligram for their opiates, right? Or especially the oxys and shit. That's expensive. So is regular like benzos nowadays. Like, you ain't seeing fucking ladders or buses just out in the streets. You either got to get somebody, which I, in the 2 years, have actually tried out GG249s, the Sandos. I've tried out the RO39 school buses, like RX school buses. But just those two, you know, because that's American shit. You ain't gonna fucking see B707 scripts, because that's, I mean, that's American too. But they're just rare, right? So you don't see that nowadays like that. You only see 0.5s and 1 milligram buses or footballs, whatever. But my point of that whole thing is that as long as like inflation's gonna go up with chemicals, so is motherfucking the demand for RCs. Not a lot of people are gonna try to be paying for that shit. They want to pay $5 a pop on RCs. You know what I mean? And my point too is like with these japroxys, nitazines and shit. The nitazines were a thing in Sweden in the 50s. The specific fucking, I can put up just like a text on the screen. The specific pharmaceutical company found them in the 50s, and they didn't even get onto the streets until like the early 2010s and shit. So, you know what I mean? That's my point. Like, shit's gonna be in the background for a very long time, until generations, and then the next generation is gonna pick up on it. So, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of fucking RCs nowadays. They're not real drugs. I don't consider them real drugs. They're designers for a reason. They're called fucking what is it? What's the NPS? They're what let me search that up real quick again. NPS is novel psychoactive substances. So that's basically what a designer drug is. Okay? That's not a real drug, all right? No doctor is fucking sitting there, okay, let me patent this fucking clopramazole for fucking 65-year-old Debbie here for fucking chronic goddamn anxiety. No, you don't fucking see that shit. Only people on the fucking streets, or like people like myself who, like, you know, we're just fucking derelicts. We're gonna ship shit in. We're gonna fucking get our hands on it regardless the circumstance, right? We want to fucking self-diagnose ourselves with shit. So, I mean, there's obvious good uses. I'm not hating on it, but I'm just trying to get people to understand that, because surprisingly, you know, the last couple of years, I've seen a lot of people not understand what they're really consuming, and they don't understand what an RC really is. They just, oh, that's what's Annex. Oh, look, that's a fucking perk that doesn't feel regular. And they don't know what's in it. Obviously, a lot of people are gonna lie to people. Like I got lied to myself with the fucking fluoprazole shit. I had no idea. I literally Googled, spent hours, countless hours Googling and shit, and I couldn't find a single thing about it. And another thing, last mentioning before I leave, is that it's not DEA approved, okay? The DEA never approved these things. The FDA never approved of these things too. Oh, it's not scheduled by the DEA, but it's not fucking FDA approved. So how are you gonna really consider them a fucking man-made chemical when it's probably like a lot, like 80%? Let's be real, 85% of the fucking chemicals, research chemicals, are coming from China. Okay, um, that's where fucking fentanyl apparently came from. But no, a lot of Chinese chemicals, especially like the cannabinoids, spice and shit, they come from China. A lot of like chemists, like what are they? Student chemists, research chemists, fucking doctors and shit. They all like fuck around with these chemicals, and they try them out themselves. And some of them might be neuropharmacologists, so or neuropsychopharmacologists. My bad, but that's like what Hamilton is from Vice. But anyways, the video is getting to 11 minutes, so I'm just gonna end it here. I don't know, maybe in a week or two, maybe a month or some shit, I'm gonna upload again another. I might keep these up though. It's kind of fun to make, but you know, like I said, my PC's kind of fucked up, so I gotta really like space out and be legitimate with timing, so before it shuts down. And I think it's a, I don't think it's a PSU problem. I think it's not CPU. No, I'm tweaking. It's a CP. I think it's a PSU problem, not CPU. Holy shit, I'm high. But anyways, though, I'm gonna get the munching, and I'm gonna edit this video right away. So as always, stay safe, stay green, and thank you guys for listening. So yeah, I hope you guys kind of hope you guys kind of understand what I kind of meant by that. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video and learn a thing or two, just comment down below. Like I said, stay green. Peace out, y'all.